She's a Mona Lisa. Everyone's lining up to see her. She's a Mona Lisa. Everyone's lining up to see.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Bianca and welcome to my beauty and astrology channel where I just talk about different parts of astrology while being a beauty. So if beauty or astrology interests you, then continue watching. And if you get to the end of this video, then you enjoy it, you enjoy me, you enjoy my content, so go ahead and watch more. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and to turn on your bell notifications so you can be notified whenever I post. And don't forget to tell a friend to do the same. I have a lot of content on here that you can watch. I talk about Uranus through the signs. I talk about the 12 different sun signs, moon signs, rising signs, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn signs. So what are you doing? Don't you want to hear about your own placements? Don't you want to hear about you? Everybody likes to hear about themselves. So go watch. I feel like I'm also entertaining. I'm an entertaining person. At least I hope so.
Okay.
But yeah, so I hope that you guys enjoy this, and without further ado, we can go right into this video. So you guys know that I do not have my glasses on, but like I really can't see, like everything is really blurry, so hopefully I look good on camera, but I look good in general. So today we are going to be talking about Pluto through the signs, and it's gonna be a long one because I'm just gonna talk about Pluto through Gemini to Capricorn. So expect a long video here. I'm gonna try and condense it. I'm gonna try and make it as short as possible. No promises. So we are gonna do a quick Pluto refresher. We're gonna jump straight into it. Pluto is like the most generational planet that we are going to talk about. So you know that means that we're not looking at Pluto in the sign in your own natal chart. Like it's not going to tell you much about your individual self. It's more of a descriptor for the generation and the time. Why did I put this sweater on to do my makeup in? I want to look cute, but like this is a little stuffy. When it comes to your chart and Pluto, you're definitely looking at what houses it's in and what aspects it forms. So what does Pluto just represent? Let's talk about it in the sense of Saturn's illusions. We talked about Saturn's illusions and Saturn's boundaries and structures, how these boundaries and structures in the physical plane are man-made, and man-made things can be torn down. So when it comes to that, you see that with the more generational planets, where Uranus shakes up the structures, where it's like it makes the structure a little faulty and you kind of see the dips and cracks in the structures a little bit, and then Neptune just kind of dissolves those structures and dissolves those boundaries and kind of reveals the truth of the fact that these boundaries are an illusion. And then Pluto kind of just destroys it, just kind of kills it, and you see that it's just kind of death to these structures, as well as there's kind of a death to ego here. Pluto is all about transformations and cycles and growth and change. So like these cycles, it's like birth, growth, death, rebirth is kind of the cycle that Pluto usually shifts through. You're gonna see that the things that Pluto is killing or ending are generally going to be things that no longer serve you. And Pluto just shows like the powerful change in society, the transformation that society is going to go through. Like I said, it is the destroyer of illusions, so Saturn's illusions. It's kind of just like how we all come to the realization that we are all one and we are all part of creation equally. Negative attributes with Pluto can be tied to like manipulation and control and power. Pluto is a very like strong planet. It's a very forceful, intense planet, and there can be a little bit of manipulation associated with it. You don't want to be resistant to the change of Pluto. You don't want to hold on to things tightly. Go, I don't want to say go with the flow, but go where Pluto is kind of directing you. What Pluto is getting rid of are things that will no longer serve you, so that you can make room for the new. It wants you to take the skills and to apply it to a new place. So that's really all I wanted to say with this quick Pluto refresher. And we can get right into the signs that Pluto transits. And we're starting with Gemini, because Pluto was in Gemini from 1885 to 1913. You guys know that I kind of just want to stick to what was going on from the 20th century to the 21st century to like now. Pluto in Gemini, remember Pluto is all about change, and Gemini kind of controls more like communication spheres, as well as like knowledge and travel, like short journey travel. And you see with Pluto, there was a change in how they communicated and how they traveled. You see that with the formation of subways in London during that time, as well as the first telephone switchboard. So this is opening up global communication, quick global communication. The ability to literally talk to people across the Atlantic. This is during the time when the phonographs are being kind of pushed out, like more people are buying it. So this is bringing more music into people's homes. It's literally bringing words and like entertainment into your own household during this time. And like national magazines are starting to pop out now, national newspapers wanting to get like the news and the information to the country. So that's a quick little rundown on Pluto in Gemini. And we can talk about Pluto in Cancer. Pluto was in Cancer from 1913 to 1939. And this is where you see there's a kind of increase in a love for your roots, because Cancer is ruled by the moon, and the moon has ties to your past and your roots and just your family and like where you come from. So with Pluto being here in Cancer, you see a little bit of nationalism. This ties into nationalism and like your country's beliefs becomes your own beliefs kind of thing. And this is also, I feel like I talk about this a lot, but the role of women changed during this time. And you know that Cancer ruled by the moon just talk about mothers specifically, but also like just females, women in general. You see that with women's suffrage, and you see that with also women are now working. Cancer moon energy is tied to food, and you see changes in food here happening. So this is when canned foods is becoming a thing, processed food is becoming a thing, frozen food is becoming a thing, because they're like, you know, we have to figure out a way to make food last longer. During this time in 1913 to 1939, you see that there's a kind of seesawing balance kind of thing happening here. So like, you know, World War I happens and everything's good, you know, economy is booming because of the war. So needs are being met. People are being able to just buy food at their leisure, buy what they need. And the roaring 20s are happening, still leisure. And then the stock market crashes in like 1929. And then you see a struggle with food. You see that there's a ration on food. You see that there isn't a surplus anymore. You see that transformation. But then by the end of 1939 a little bit, you see another boom, because that war is about to pop off, honey. With that being said, we can go to Pluto in Leo, and you see that Pluto was in Leo from 1939 to 1958. So this is kind of like the me generation, like kind of focused on self, But also there is a focus on opening up your heart a little bit more in the world. Especially you see that those that were born during the late 40s and early 50s are taking part in the 1970s free love era, and like just really capitalizing on, hey, I want to be me. I'm living for me. I'm living through my truth, living through my heart, and unconditionally loving as well. Loving without conditions is kind of the change that these people go through once they grow up. During this time, you see an increase in like heart conditions a little bit, just because, you know, they weren't taking care of their health how they needed to during this time or before this time. And you do see the Pluto and Virgo generation helping this and doing work with healthcare and servicing people's body. But this is when people are starting to realize, hey, maybe we should be eating better. Maybe I shouldn't be smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. You know, general good advice. But also, you know, Leo is about talent. I cannot talk about a generational planet in Leo without talking about the movie industry, or like just the fame industry a little bit. Just celebrities popping off. People born with their Pluto in Leo do end up becoming kings and queens of Hollywood, kings and queens of fame. But also during this time, people are taking off. You know, Elvis is taking off during this time. So you're seeing a lot of changes and advancements in Hollywood. Kind of see that this energy had a change on the leaders here a little bit, just kind of emboldened the leaders. So that's all I had to say about Pluto in Leo. We can go ahead to Pluto in Virgo. So with Pluto in Virgo, there's a change in analyzing data, being efficient. There's a change in what else is there a change in? I'm trying to say change in awareness of how we are kind of destroying the planet, as well as a change in healthcare. I didn't even say the dates, my bad. So Pluto in Virgo was from 1958 to 1971, and you see a kind of change here where people are getting more concerned about the health of the earth, the health of the planet. People are like, you know, maybe we should try and conserve what we're burning off. People are realizing, you know, these natural resources that we have aren't infinite. You know, there is a finite resource, and like trying to figure out how we can conserve and maybe use other types of energy. You know, this is just when they start forming groups focused on the environment, environmental groups, and kind of just raising awareness of like, hey, we're kind of messing up the earth and we don't have another one to go to, so like, let's fix this. So this is when more books are being published, like, hey, we really need to fix this. Hey, if we don't fix this, this is what's going to happen in the future. These are the terrible things that are going to happen. We are going to be kind of destroying our home. But this is when they started banning certain pesticides. This was when Earth Day, because Earth Day was, the first Earth Day was a protest during 1970. This is also when the Environmental Protection Agency was formed. But also, I think I mentioned how those who are born with their Pluto in Virgo go on to make health advancements and advancements in the health field. But also during this time, Medicare and Medicaid were established, which are health insurances. So, you know, moving on up in the world. But things that are also worthy of mentioning that were formed during this time that do touch on Virgo's sphere a little bit are the first pocket calculators were made. First of all, this is something that has to do with like math and numbers, and Virgo is ruled by Mercury and just your mind. So a pocket calculator, this is efficient because this is now, people can use this calculator wherever they go, as well as the first ATM. Virgo does have a little bit of a technological use here because, again, ruled by Mercury. And during this time, the first prototype of the internet is kind of being formed, as well as the first email was sent. And boom, Pluto and Virgo, changing how you communicate with each other, making it more efficient. And also like the power struggle of the earth and like taking care of the earth, trying to figure out what balance we can have with being a modern society, but also making sure that we don't kind of blow up the place that we live. So we're gonna go to Pluto in Libra, and Pluto was in Libra from 1971 to 1984. And you know that there's gonna be a change in one-on-one relationships here. Honestly, I've been binge watching one-on-one, so every single time I say one-on-one relationships, just know I'm thinking about that. There's kind of a change in one-on-one relationships here. This is kind of when they put the nail in the coffin for traditional relationships. Like, you know, the idea of get married at a young age, marriage between a man or a woman. This is when people are like, you know what, maybe that isn't the business. Maybe that's not the tea of the situation. Maybe that's not what we're gonna do. You know, there's a little bit of a divorce revolution here. There's a change in divorces even. There's a bill of like no fault divorces. So it doesn't have to be somebody's fault, because before then it had to be like, whose fault is it? But now there's no fault divorces where it's just like, damn, I just don't want to be with your ass no more. Let's go. Sign the papers. Bye. I'm going to spray my face really quickly and then finish talking. Am I gonna spray my face? Yep. Y'all, I also got a little mustache, little peach fuzz growing. I'm gonna need to take care of that too. We are gonna do my eyebrows. I don't have my eyebrow stuff next to me. I'm gonna go get it and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back and I zoomed you guys in just a little bit closer just so you guys can see more of me doing my brows. But we're gonna continue talking about Pluto in Libra as well. What else did I want to say? This is where like men are saying, hey, maybe I don't want to marry a woman. And women are saying, hey, maybe I don't want to marry a man. Maybe I don't identify as a man or a woman, and I identify as the other gender, or I identify as neither gender. You know, people are starting to say, we didn't question this binary at all. We didn't question this gender binary at all. Maybe we should. And you see that change into the modern gay rights movement, because like there's always been gay rights movement. There's always been like a, hey, we deserve rights. Hey, like, I don't want people to think that gay people just started popping up, because been around. But yeah, equal rights movement is going on here. And you know, the equal rights campaign popped off during this time, but it also kind of fell off. And I feel like you kind of see this happening just in general, like this continuing, where, you know, feminists kind of work against each other. And specifically here, funny that it's in Pluto, because Pluto does have a little bit to do with sex. And feminists just really couldn't kind of agree on sex positivity versus kind of like anti-porn sentiments. Some people found it degrading, other people found it liberating. I feel like you can still see that kind of argument going on today, when really feminism should be, you should do whatever the hell you want, and I'm not judging you for nothing. Yeah, and this was also, because you know, this is 1971 to 1984. Pluto being in Libra, you know, Libra is about peace and maintaining peace. I feel like this is when you see a transformation of peace. A lot of people are just tired of war. You know, during this time the Vietnam War is still kind of going on until the 1975. This is like the height of, you know, the free love, and you know, people being all about love at this time, and people being all about peace in like an extreme sense at this point. You know, this is when people were the ultimate hippies. That's all I had to say about Uranus in Libra. I'm going to actually do my brows off camera just because it's going to be too much. I'm going to be too into it, and I will come back and we will do our eyeshadow, and then we'll talk about Pluto in Scorpio, Sagittarius, and Capricorn. So I'm back, guys, and we're going to be using RawBeautyKristi's Pure Collaboration We're gonna be using this side. I feel like this side is a lot more, if it would focus, I feel like this side is a lot more fall type. Okay, so we're going to just be trying this out, trying to make a halo eye is what I'm going for today. I'm going to be using this color, this Camelot color. That's what we're gonna be using. Just so you guys know, I am getting heated up in this here sweater, if you guys were wondering. Can you guys see what I'm doing? I can't really even see myself. I think this is a good enough view. I don't want to be too close now. I was real close in my Neptune, my first Neptune video with the first half of the signs. I was too close for y'all. I watched it back and I was just like, why am I right in y'all faces? But we're gonna continue our conversation with Pluto in Scorpio. Pluto was in Scorpio from 1984 to 1996, and Scorpio does have ties to sex sphere. Scorpio does rule the reproductive organ, so there is a little bit of a tie here to sex. And you know, Scorpio is ruled by Mars, so like there's a lot of passion here. Some people do believe that Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, but that just adds to the intensity. And during this time frame was pretty intense. This is when the AIDS virus just kind of transformed our way of thinking when it came to not relationship, but when it came to sex. It changed our views on sex. Kind of, you know, having sex with multiple partners had put this idea that we would get sick, which, like, you know, AIDS can be transferred through blood, sharing needles, stuff like that, but also through sex. So it transformed the way that we viewed sex. But it was just like, people are like, you know what, maybe this free love isn't for us because we're getting sick. Maybe it's time to settle to monogamy. And that was more so for health, honestly. But even then, with Pluto and Scorpio, both of the energies have this kind of tie to death and like transformation. And over here, there was just a heightened sense of we are vulnerable, like humans are vulnerable, and just how fragile life is. Because, you know, during this time, the Cold War is still popping off, and there's just like an arms race, but there's still a fear of nuclear warfare. This is kind of like an apocalyptic arms race, because it's just like the idea in your mind is that America has a red button and that like Russia has a red button, and it's just like, you know, whoever pressed that button, you know that the other country is about to press their button too, and just 3 people got to press their button and the whole world just over. So there's this lingering fear in the back of your mind also when it comes to Pluto and Scorpio. But also during this time, you see like horror movies kind of taking off, movies that kind of just get people to jump. You see movies revolving around like zombies and mummies and slasher films, stuff like that are getting its shine. Things that are more dark and into, I don't want to just say the occult, but like mystery as well. This is when you see things like Ghostbusters popping off, as well as Tim Burton movies. But also you see this time is a time for like rage and like thrasher music, where it's just also like emo music. Is that even the word I want to use? You know, the music where people are screaming and like mosh pits, and just that kind of aesthetic is starting to make its way into mainstream now. And then we're going to talk about Pluto in Sagittarius. Actually, the people who generally watch me either going to have their Pluto in Scorpio or Sagittarius. I also have my Pluto in Sagittarius, so hey, what's poppin'? And Pluto was in Sagittarius from 1996 to 2009. We're going to, I think we're going to add this color copper boxes, just because I feel like it would be a good crease color too. A really good crease color. So here you can see that there's a change in transformation in looking towards higher powers. So in churches, philosophies and stuff like that. But also there is a little bit of a, it's not really a seesaw that I'm trying to say, but like there's a cycle here where it's like people kind of lose interest in organized religions, are starting to pick up more on spiritual practices and not having as much as a strict religion. But then you see that extremism does come into play at some point in time, because during this time, 2001, 9/11 happens. When anything too traumatic happens, people try to really hold on to what makes them them, things that are part of their personality or their traits, something they strongly identify with. And that talks more about like mortality salient events. So things where you realize in a blink of a moment you could have lost your life, where it really makes you question and reflect on your own mortality. So people were then pushed towards what is part of their identity, and you see that religion is a big thing that people cling to when it comes to how they identify themselves. So after 9/11, you see a kind of influx in extremism. Well, first of all, 9/11 itself is extremism, just an extreme message trying to be sent. Then you see that it kind of ties into people becoming extreme and devout Christians and Muslims after this, as well as atheists. But also do want to talk about how the extremism for hate of other religions was reignited. Who knows if it ever really died, but it was definitely reignited after 9/11, because there were people literally attacking Muslims in America, or just in general, people mistrusting Muslims. And I feel like that could also tie to Pluto in Sagittarius here as well. So you see extremism in like going for your own personal religion, as well as extremism in hating other religions. But this is also when the internet started popping off. Internet was more accessible. Internet was in more people's houses. Why does the internet have a tie to Sagittarius? Sagittarius is all about gathering more information, gathering information from multiple resources and sharing information, getting information so you can form your own opinions and ideas, wanting to broaden and expand your horizons as well as like your mind. So that's kind of what the internet did. The internet made knowledge accessible to your fingertips. How easy it is to just Google something. That is what the introduction of the internet really did for people. Made resources easier to get. And you see that during this time, print died a little bit. People weren't picking up magazines. People weren't really looking for newspapers. Newspapers started printing, obviously newspapers still print and stuff, but they started posting their stuff on the internet. You can get the New York Times online. You can subscribe. People had to get with the times, but also you see things popping off on the internet to connect people to each other. During this time, you saw MySpace pop up. We saw you saw MySpace pop up, Facebook pop up, Google pop up. So that's really all I have to say for Pluto in Sagittarius. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see this Pluto in Sagittarius generation go off to seek higher knowledge, like just pursuers of the ultimate truth of the world. I'm just right now mixing not really mixing, but just blending Camelot and CoverFx into each other, just making sure it's seamless. I'm thinking about adding pink somewhere. I think I know what I'm gonna do. I think I know. I think I know. Sorry, I'm getting distracted into the makeup, but I'm gonna add this on top because I definitely need a darker color. I'm trying to not do too dark, but right at like the edges needed a darker little something. Okay, we're gonna add more of the Camelot. Sorry, I got real distracted, like I don't have one more sign to talk about. Sorry. So we are going to talk about Pluto in Capricorn, which we are still in right now. And Pluto in Capricorn, you see that was from like 2008, 2009 to 2023, when we get 2023, 2024 is when we get out of Pluto in Capricorn. When it comes to Pluto and Capricorn, you're seeing a change in the way we make money, change in how we make sure that we are physically secure. But you know, Capricorn ruled by Saturn, Saturn structures. You're seeing a change in structures, a change in kind of like the economy, because like money, but also the governments. There's going to be a change in the governments, and we are seeing that. With the economical change though, can we talk about the fact that Bitcoin and what is it, cryptocurrency is taking off during this time? Can we talk about it? Can we talk about that? How there's a change in the type of cryptocurrency. I also talked about this with Uranus and Taurus, how we are in Uranus and Taurus. So it makes sense that Uranus and Taurus plus Capricorn Pluto, that we are seeing a change in how we use money, how we view money, and what is qualified as money. But you kind of see here that there's issues with the government versus the people. Let me go ahead and cut my crease. I don't know why I started talking like I can't actually say anything of importance while trying to cut this crease. I'll fast forward this for you guys. I just digged into the palette. Ooh. Okay, so we're done cutting the crease. We're gonna go to the like putting on the shimmer. So I'm choosing Cafe Disco, which is this color right here. There can be a little bit of an obsession or a really deep craving to climb the social ladder. Well, not the social ladder, but the corporate ladder, or just like the ladder of success in general. Just really wanting to be successful, wanting to be stable in life, wanting to be secure. Just a real dire need to feel secure. And I feel like we can all kind of feel that energy where people are, it's like people want to eat the rich but also want to be rich at the same time here. Wanting to really be at the top of the food chain, but try not to get to the top of the food chain in like shady ways or like selfish ways. Don't be selfish. There also may be a little bit of a draw to penny pinching, pinching your coins together, being very cautious about how you spend money. You know how people are trying to like budget broke? You can't budget your way out of broke, but people sit here and try and convince you to like budget your way out of broke. Trying to financial literacy your way out of rubbing 2 pennies together and trying to make $1. It does tie into 2008, the crash in the market, the crash in the economy, as well as Occupy Wall Street during this time. And Brexit does tie into this as well. That's really all I have to say about Pluto in Capricorn and just Pluto throughout the signs. And yeah, this is kind of the end of it. Yeah, at this point, if you're watching because you enjoy me and you want to see me look good at the end of this. So stay tuned because I'm gonna look cute. I am really liking this color on my eye. We gotta blend though. It's time to blend to the gods. And I'm just simply mixing Moo Point and Copper boxes together for this. So I'm actually recording this on Wednesday, guys. So y'all know election day was yesterday or whatever. I don't know if y'all need to know. I voted yesterday. I'm a good citizen, I guess. You know, democracy, woo woo. I'm using a little bit of You're Not My Real Dad. Just because it's a darker color, I just want to darken this up a little bit on the perimeter, not on the inside though. We're just going to blend. Okay. We're done with that. I'm gonna do under eye. I'm also using You're Not My Dad and Copper boxes underneath. I don't think I mentioned that. I don't remember. That's the blend that I'm using here. I might add Camelot. I'm going to add Camelot underneath. You know, you can see that. So that's that on my eyes. We're gonna do I want to do lashes? Yeah, but like no. So my battery died while I was doing my eyes, so I just finished them because all I had to do was put on my lashes and then put on my gloss. So that's what I did. And for my gloss, I used You're Not My Real Dad is the one that I used for like the perimeter of my mouth. But then I kind of wanted like a bit lip kind of look. And I went with this side effect, whichever one that you want to call it. But I went with this one for my lips. Surprisingly, I'm not going to put on any blush. I'm just going to spray my face one more time and call it a day. Yeah, so that's the end of this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys learned something new. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me do my makeup, and I hope you guys enjoyed listening to me talk about Pluto in the different signs. Since you got to the end of this video, obviously you enjoy my content. Obviously you like listening to me. So do yourself a favor and subscribe. And then like, and then comment, and also share with friends, because why would you be stingy with the information? And a hover card should be popping up right now over my face most likely, and feel free to go to my channel and peruse. So yeah, with that being said, I will see you guys next time. Bye.